The woman who has won many big awards over the past 70 years, Julie Andrews, made her fans very sad when she talked about her bad life. Even though she is about to turn 90, her life is still full of darkness, which is what makes us the saddest. Don't go to another video right away. This one has mysterious stories about Julie's life. Let's begin. Julia Elizabeth Wells, later known as the icon IC Julie Andrews, was born in England in 1935. Due to the influence of her mother and stepfather, performers Barbara Ward Morris and Ted Andrews. However, Julie's early life was very troubled. Barbara had divorced the man Julie thought was her real father right before World War II and then married Ted Andrews. It was through Ted that young Julie took her first singing lessons, which is where her amazing vocal range and beautiful tone really started to shine. During the London Blitz, which happened from September 1940 to May 1941 and involved Germany's Luftwaffe bombing strategic targets in the UK, including the City of London, where Julie Andrews spent her childhood, she performed with her parents in their vaudeville act, showing off her amazing talent. For their safety, children like Julie were sent to the English countryside, but for those who stayed in London, life was filled with constant fear and chaos. Bomb shelters were built to give people a sense of security, but the daily reality was one of constant terror. During this time, the people of London went through terrible hardships, such as food shortages and resources were rationed, and the Blitz took a heavy toll. By the time it was over, about 43,000 people had died, and more than 1 million buildings were damaged or destroyed beyond recognition. During the stress and fear of World War II, it was a sad fact that both her mother, Barbara Ward Morris, and stepfather, Ted Andrews, were alcoholics and abused Joel and each other. Ted Andrews would drink and beat Joel. Eventually, he adopted Julie as his stepdaughter, which formalized the complicated family dynamics as they dealt with their own demons. Julie's amazing talent began to shine when she took the stage with her parents to perform live and entertain the troops during this troubled time in history. One event in particular would change the course of Julie's life. She had the honor of singing for Queen Elizabeth, who would later become Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother. This was followed by an unforgettable moment occurred when she curtsied before the newly crowned Queen Elizabeth II. Julie Andrews wrote in her book about this experience, describing how the Queen Mother told her, "You sang beautifully tonight. It was my first taste of fame." In that moment, Julie's heart swelled with pride and joy, basking in the glow of royal recognition. However, tragedy continued to loom over her life. During this time, her maternal grandparents died young from a terrible disease, and her grandfather contracted the disease and died. Syphilis, and unknowingly gave it to her grandmother. The pain and anguish of seeing her grandparents suffer and die was made worse by knowing where the disease came from. Julie's mother, Barbarian, was born into a troubled family, and her father's alcoholism and abuse caused a lot of pain and dysfunction. Julie Andrews, who was affectionately known as the pigtailed prodigy, showed amazing talent from a young age, and her early years were marked by an impressive the career path that brought her both pride and sacrifice. By 1946, she had already started working professionally and was helping to support her family financially, which was an amazing accomplishment for a child. Her start in the entertainment business was with a memorable radio appearance with her stepfather, Ted Andrews, where they showed off their singing skills. West End at the young age of 12 was another important moment in her career. One of her proudest moments during this time was when she sang "M for King George VII" at the prestigious London Palladium, becoming the youngest performer ever to grace a Royal Command performance. However, her dream of a career in movies would have to wait a while longer because the London office of the Hollywood studio Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer MGM held a screen test. but ultimately decided not to sign her. Undeterred, Julie Andrews, who was then a teenager, kept busy during the holidays performing in what were called pintos or pantomimes, which were a beloved British theatrical tradition. Her annual roles included Little Red Riding Hood, parts in Aladdin, and Jack and the Beanstalk. Julie Andrews' dedication to her craft kept her busy with a whirlwind of performances with her parents and as a solo artist. Julie Andrews never got to finish high school or go to college because of one of the most heartbreaking and traumatic events in her formative years. It happened when she was only 15 years old, and she wrote about it in great detail in her moving memoir, Home. The memory is a stark reminder of the darkness that can creep into even the most innocent lives at this delicate time in her adolescence. Ted Andrews, Julie's stepfather, became very drunk and behaved in a very disturbing way toward his teenage stepdaughter. This regrettable event would leave an indelible mark on Julie's mind. In her deeply personal account, Julie Andrews paints a haunting picture of the experience, describing it as nothing short of a horrifying ordeal. The trauma inflicted upon her was so profound that she felt compelled to take drastic measures to protect herself from further harm. Fearing for her safety and sanity, she put a bolt on her bedroom door as a stark reminder of the emotional barricade she had to build to protect her well-being. It was a heartbreaking reminder of the reality she had to face in her own home, the place that should have been her sanctuary. What's even more upsetting is the fact that this was not an isolated incident. Ted Andrews had behaved badly toward his stepdaughter before, which made this incident even more tragic. At the young age of 18, Julie Andrews was about to start a journey that would change her life in the world of theater. It all began when her boyfriend, who was the director of the London production of the popular musical, saw her captivating performance on stage and was blown away by her. The director saw her talent and charisma and made a life-changing choice by casting her in the lead role of the American version of the play. For Andrews, leaving her family and home country to start this new adventure across the Atlantic was not an easy choice. It was a big step into the unknown, full of the risks and challenges of moving to a new country. The decision to take this risk would become a turning point in her career. Moving to the United States was the start of an amazing journey that would make her a household name and a beloved icon in the entertainment world. Andrews' performance in The Boyfriend received a lot of praise and attention, setting the stage for her rising career in American theater. But the most amazing part of Andrews' early career wasn't over yet. When Andrews was dating her boyfriend, she was given a great chance that would cement her reputation as a theater legend. She was offered the part of Eliza Diddle in a professional production of My Fair Lady. This was an incredible honor because she was the youngest actress to ever play this famous role, which shows how talented she was. However, Andrews ran into a problem on her way to becoming famous. Her co-star, the person she was supposed to share the stage with and make My Fair Lady magical, didn't believe in her. This difficult dynamic of doubt and skepticism was a big problem for Andrews, who had already shown that she was a talented performer. Despite the doubters, she kept going and showed how talented she was, eventually winning over her critics and captivating audiences with her enchanting portrayal of Eliza Little in her memoir. She honestly talks about how Rex Harrison, the well-known stage actor who was cast as Henry Higgins, the play's male lead, was very unimpressed by her inclusion in the cast. Harrison's reaction to Andrews' casting was nothing short of shocking. He was so strongly against her playing Eliza Little that he started a public campaign to have her replaced with someone else. Harrison's opposition to Andrews' casting could have ruined the production and possibly put an end to her rising career as an actor. Thankfully, the play's director, Mosshart, was able to calm things down instead of giving in to Harrison's objections. Hart saw Andrews' potential and was determined to help her reach it. He took the young actress under his wing and helped her improve her performance by giving her advice, support, and valuable mentorship. Hart had unwavering faith in Andrews's abilities, and he saw something in her that Harrison hadn't seen. After intensive training and guidance from Hart, Andrews started to shine in her role as Eliza, and she grew into the character with impressive skill. The audience applauded and praised Andrews's performance, and Moss's faith in her abilities was clear in a statement he made to his wife. Andrews would be fine because she has that terrible British strength that makes you wonder how they ever lost India. The love story of Julie Andrews and Tony Walton is a heartwarming one of childhood sweethearts whose relationship started in a charmingly unexpected way. Andrews and Walton started dating when she was 12 years old and had a memorable role in a Christmas pantomime production of Humpty Dumpty. Little did she know that this performance would lead to a truly adorable meat and potatoes relationship with Tony Walton. During the pantomime, Walton found himself sitting in the front row, mesmerized by the young and talented Julie Andrews as she played the role of. Her performance made an impression on him that he couldn't forget. This magical meeting was the spark that started their friendship. Shortly after the performance, Andrews and Walton met on the train ride home. They hit it off right away and quickly learned that they both had a deep love for theater and the arts. This chance meeting on the train set the stage for a friendship that would last the rest of their lives in a story that could rival. Like any good love story, 2 days after that fateful train ride, Tony Walton showed up at Julie Andrews' door. From that point on, they couldn't be separated. Their relationship grew stronger over the years as they shared their hopes, dreams, and love for the arts. Their journey together ended in a beautiful union when Julie Andrews and Tony Walton got married in 1959. Julie Andrews and Tony Walton's wedding was marked by a deep and genuine love that was clear in the vows of love and commitment they exchanged. Walton was especially smitten with his new bride, Julie Andrews. As a sign of their love and unity, Walton designed the couple's wedding rings himself, which was a unique and personal touch that showed how much he loved her. The rings were made to match a gold brooch that he had lovingly given to Julie Andrews. The couple's happiness continued to grow as they welcomed a daughter named Emma into the world in 1962. The birth of their child added another layer of joy and purpose to their lives, solidifying their status as a loving family. In a professional capacity, Walton's core creative talents intertwined with Andrews' burgeoning career. He played a pivotal role in designing the sets for the iconic film Mary Poppins in 1964. This collaboration showed how deeply they were connected and how well their professional lives fit together. As the entertainment industry started to have an effect on their lives, the stresses of the job started to show in their relationship. The constant attention and demands of the entertainment business brought problems and challenges that tested how strong their marriage was. Julie's journey as the beloved Eliza Little in the Broadway and London stage productions of My Fair Lady should have made her a natural choice for the lead in the movie version of the show. However, fate was not on her side when it came to the movie version of this iconic IC musical. When My Fair Lady was turned into a movie, the studio boss Jack Warner made the shocking decision to pass over Julie for the lead. Andrews in favor of casting Audrey Hepburn in the highly sought-after role of Eliza Diddle. This decision caused shockwaves in the industry and was a major scandal at the time. In a touching and little-known part of Hollywood history, Julie Andrews was chosen by Walt Disney to play the iconic role of Mary Poppins. It's a story of chance and kindness. Walt Disney was a visionary in the entertainment industry had long wanted to bring the beloved character of Mary Poppins to life on the big screen, but it was hard to find the right actress for the part. That is, until he saw Julie Andrews' spellbinding performance as Queen Jai in the Broadway production of Camelot. It was a moment that would change the course of both of their lives. Unfortunately, the magical night on Broadway took an unexpected turn when Julie Andrews found out she was already 4 months pregnant with her first child. This news could have hurt her chances of becoming Mary Poppins, a character who would win over millions of hearts. That must have been heartbreaking for Andrews. But Walt Disney, who was known for his creativity and kindness, saw Andrews's rare talent and saw how she could bring Mary Poppins to life. He was so determined to cast her that he made a heartwarming decision. He was willing to delay the start of filming so that Andrews could be pregnant. This act of kindness not only showed Disney's unwavering commitment to Andrews's career, but it also showed how much he cared about others. In addition to showing support for Andrews, the letter also emphasized the importance of family and motherhood, which were central to the Mary Poppins story. It was a touching act that touched everyone involved and has since become a heartwarming testament to the enduring magic of Mary Poppins, both on and off the screen. The epic battle between Mary Poppins and My Fair Lady at the box office that year would change the rules of movie success, with Julie Andrews and Audrey Hepburn at the center of it. Andrews had been chosen by Walt Disney to play the magical nanny Mary Poppins, while Audrey. At the same time, Hepburn was playing Eliza Diddle in the movie version of My Fair Lady. Both movies were vying for moviegoers' attention, and the stakes were very high. It was a battle of epic proportions, with critics and fans alike eagerly anticipating the outcome. In a shocking turn of events, Mary Poppins emerged as the winner, capturing the fans all over the world loved the movie so much that it beat My Fair Lady at the box office and became a cultural phenomenon. It was a testament to the endearing appeal of a story about a magical nanny who brought joy and wonder to the lives of both kids and adults. To top it all off, Julie Andrews won the most prestigious acting awards. She won an Oscar and a Golden Globe for her beautiful performance as the Flying Nanny, solidifying her status as a movie legend. What could have been an epic rivalry between Andrews and Hearn, both vying for the same audience and praise, turned out to be a heartwarming surprise. Audrey Hearn stayed friends through it all. Their lasting friendship showed how classy and graceful these two amazing actresses were. The story of Christopher Plummer and Julie Andrews is also one of Hollywood's most interesting examples of how a relationship can go from initial friction to deep friendship. Their relationship started off rough when they met on the set of The Sound of Music. Christopher Plummer is a seasoned and famous actor. Had doubts about Julie Andrews. He may have been too honest when he said that he found her annoying and hard to deal with at first. This was probably because of the stress and expectations that came with making The Sound of Music a beloved and iconic movie, as well as the difficulties of working with her as a co-star. At one point, he was so mad that he called Julie Andrews MS Disney, a term that wasn't meant to be complimentary and may have hinted at his irritation with the film's close ties to the Disney brand. But in the world of show business, first impressions don't always tell the whole story. As time went on and the difficulties of filming the musical drama mounted, Christopher Plummer changed his mind. He realized how hasty his first judgment had been, and Plummer eventually came to see Julie Andrews not only as a very skilled and professional actress, but also as a gracious and well-rounded person. The initial tensions turned into genuine admiration and respect for Andrews, who played her part with poise and dedication. Plummer's change of opinion from disdain to deep respect for his co-star showed a level of Julie Andrews' professional growth and maturity was not only admirable, but also a reflection of how relationships work in the movie business at the time. At the same time, her marriage to her first husband, Tony Wallen, was slowly falling apart, and the contrast between her professional success and personal turmoil put a lot of stress on their relationship. Over the course of several years, Andrews' career required her to be on many film sets, often in faraway and exotic places. This meant that they were emotionally and physically separated from each other. Their busy schedules, constant travel, and separation hurt their relationship, and the F miss in their Marga started to weaken despite the growing problems. Andrews and Walton both worked hard to save their relationship. They dealt with the stress of their careers and the growing emotional distance in their marriage, but as is often the case, the demands of fame and their careers were too much for them to handle. Despite many challenges, Julie Andrews and Tony Walton made the painful decision to divorce in 1967, ending their relationship. The end of their marriage must have been an emotionally devastating event for both of them, a deep loss. Amid the glitz and glam of their public lives, how Andrews and Walton managed to. The fact that they were able to stay friends after the divorce showed how much they respected and cared for each other. Julie Andrews, who was known for her unwavering grace, dealt with the end of her marriage with strength and resilience. She may have felt heartbreak after the divorce, but she didn't let it define her. For a long time, her life and career continued to do well, and her unbreakable spirit helped her find happiness and fulfillment in new parts of her life. Julie Andrews and Blake Edwards' love story is like the plot of a classic romantic movie, full of happy accidents and charming encounters. It all started in the late 1950s, when fate brought them together. Julie Andrews, a famous actress who had already been in many movies and on stage, was going to therapy at the time and had just pulled into her therapist's office in her car. Blake Edwards, a talented filmmaker who would go on to direct many classic movies, was also leaving his session at the same time. By chance, their cars were close to each other, and they ran into each other more than once. It was during these chance meetings that Blake Edwards got the courage to start a conversation with the beautiful Julie Andrews. Edwards rolled down his window with the poise of a true gentleman and, in a scene that could have been taken from the most enticing romantic comedies, asked Julie Andrews, "Are you going where I just came from?" His words were simple but full of intrigue and the promise of a new connection. But there were darker times in their relationship, as well as the happy times and laughter. The couple had to deal with some tough times. Gate Edwards, despite his charm and wit, suffered from severe depression. These times of emotional turmoil could have made their relationship more difficult, which would have made their love story even more complicated. Despite these problems, Julie Andrews and Blake Edwards remained devoted to each other. They were committed to their relationship and determined to make it work, despite the problems they faced. Their love wasn't defined by the lack of problems, but by their resolve to face them together. What do you think about Julie Andrews' tragic life? Let us know in the comments section below. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.